Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Moving to Australia podcast. This week joining Amitava and me in the studio is Sagnik Datta, an Azure specialist at Tokio Marine Management Australasia, which is one of the world's largest insurance groups. Sagnik has a bachelor's in computer science from West Bengal University of Technology and a master's degree in business from the University of Wollongong. Welcome Sagnik, welcome to our podcast.
Thanks, Arun. How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. And a warm welcome to you as well, Amitava. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you, Sagnik?
I'm doing really good. Thank you for asking, Amitava. How are you?
I'm all right. Meeting you after a long time.
Yes.
So Sagnik, talk us through your journey as a student at University of Wollongong.
Yeah, so I migrated to Australia in 2017. I got the opportunity to study business. My specialization was marketing and entrepreneurship, which I did from University of Wollongong. I would say it was an eye-opening experience for me. Obviously, coming to a different country, coming to a different environment, I would say. The whole education system is completely different in Australia as to what you get in India in terms of the approach and everything else in terms of how things are done. I would say the teachers are very qualified and very knowledgeable. They're very helpful as well. And it was 2 years of assignments, I would say long lectures, and finally I got through it.
So how did you go about looking for an internship after graduation?
Well, actually, to be honest, I was already doing part-time with Ikea while I was studying, and that actually helped me to get a full-time job, because after what I did is, like, after I graduated, I approached the company that I graduated, and I'm now eligible to work full-time, and that actually benefited in my case, and I actually ended up landing a job in operations in Ikea, and I continued to work with them for a couple of more years. So that's been my experience in terms of, I would say, getting an internship or a job, as you would say.
Did IKEA have an internship program that you could apply for?
No, actually, they didn't. My company did help me out with few other companies who could facilitate that. But because I was already working for an esteemed organization, I would say at that point of time, I actually went ahead with them. It was more of a personal decision, I would say. I could have opted for what my university accommodated for me, but then it was something personal choice, and I went ahead with them.
So that internship led to a full-time role at IKEA.
Yes, I would say, like, it was more of a part-time what I was doing, and that actually led to a full-time job in IKEA.
So how was your experience working at IKEA?
It was first of all, like, it was really it was really great working for such a big MNC at that point of time. Not a lot of people in my shoes at that point of time, or I would say who were my fellow students at that point of time, didn't have that opportunity. So yeah, I was hungry at that point of time to prove myself to the company. Obviously, being a fresh graduate, I think you need to have that hunger. So overall, I would say my experience was pretty good, and I got a lot of exposure at that point of time working with different IKEAs from different like all over the world. And it was a stepping stone for me.
Before you moved to Australia, did you have any work experience back in India?
In India, I did a couple of internships. I did one internship with Reliance. Right now, it's known as Reliance Jio. And I also worked for 6 months I did an internship with a company called CESC. So,
how would you contrast working in two countries, India and Australia? What would you see as some of the challenges that you face here, as opposed to something that you would not, and also some of the things that help you acclimatize yourself so easily into the workforce, since it was your first job?
Yeah. So, well, I mean, to be honest, I was doing internships in India, but if you talk about the differences, is the culture, I would say, in Australia. In India, it's very competitive. It's very intense, and people are almost like up every time. So, but in Australia, when I came here, the culture is a bit laid back compared to what I faced in India. So that kind of facilitates someone like me into it as well, because I was already in that groove of in that competition. So when I came to Australia, I think things were much more in order, much more in like in place, and because people do prioritize other things like looking after yourself, looking after your family. Like I said, the culture is a bit laid back, so that kind of that's the difference I would say I kind of saw here.
But laid back in a good way because you
In a
get
good
more
way,
time
yes,
for yourself.
absolutely. Yeah. So a much more focus on yourself, much more focus on your health and your well-being, and not only working all the time.
Yeah, so we have a lot of fresh graduates who listen to our podcast and also reach out to Amitava from India, Bangladesh, and other parts of the world. So, if there is one piece of advice that you could give fresh graduates from overseas who are looking for a full-time job here, what would
Yes.
that be?
Well, I think if you ask me, I think if you're a fresh graduate and if you're looking to migrate, I would say there are a couple of challenges that you may end up facing, because it's not that straightforward that you apply a job through LinkedIn or, let's say, Indeed, Seek, and the company will facilitate the move for you. There are a lot of steps, there are a lot of challenges that is already involved in that. So to come to Australia, I would say, obviously, look, I mean, the best thing would be to get in touch with someone who work in this field. For example, in my case, the reason I reached out to Amitava is because he's very knowledgeable in his field, and that's because he's been doing this for a long time. So I would say seek some advice from any, like, say, migration lawyer, or seek advice from Amitava if you can, and he can properly guide you about the steps that are involved, because it's not only like that I'm a graduate and I'm want to work in overseas. There are a lot of challenges, especially with the visa, with different clauses. You need to qualify as well in different sections, I would say. So seek advice from any professional, and I'm pretty sure they can guide you in that sense.
Okay. So you recently got your permanent residency. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And you came here, you mentioned, on a student visa.
Yes.
So we would have to touch upon the various visas that you had to get onto before you finally got your permanent residency. So let's start with which visa did you move on after graduation straight away?
So yes, so immediately after graduating, I qualified for a temporary resident visa. At that point of time, when I graduated, it was 2 years of temporary residency once you graduated. So I was on that visa till 2021, and then due to COVID, it got extended for additional 9 months in my case.
Which subclass is that? The temporary residency?
Amitava may be able to correct me. I totally lost all the numbers. So if
Which subclass was that, Amitava? Do you remember?
So initially he came on a student visa, then he went into subclass 485, which is the TR,
yes,
and then you went to the training visa,
yes,
which is subclass 407.
7, yes,
And the training visa was appropriate at that time because you did not have enough experience for a TSS visa, 482 visa.
yes, correct.
And then while you were on a training visa, you got your PR, right?
Yes.
Something like that, if I remember.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. I just forgot the subclass of the TR visa. Otherwise, I would have told you. But yes, he's absolutely right. That's what happened in my case. I Once I graduated, I went on a 485, and like I said, due to COVID, the government extended my visa for another certain period of time. And once that maxed out, I went on a 407 visa with the company that I was working at that point of time.
Now, tell us how you met Amitava, and tell our listeners about how DMS has helped you secure your permanent residency.
Yes. So I have heard of Amitava when I would say when I was a student, because me and Amitava, we kind of are involved in the same community. We both Bengalis. So I have heard of him, but honestly, at that point of time, I didn't approach him, and I was more trying to secure all the knowledge about permanent residencies and everything. But due to COVID, all my plans got changed, and there was so much uncertainties around that even I wasn't sure like what's going on. And I'm not only talking about jobs. Because of COVID, I think there were a few border restrictions implemented at that point of time. And so a common friend of ours actually told me to seek some advice from Amitava. So that's when I reached out. And
I think it was Shayana Santra.
no, yeah, she was there, but actually it was Parijat.
Oh, Parijat and Shayana both, I think.
Yes. More I would say Parijat. Yes. Shayana as well, but more Parijat. Yeah. So coming back to the conversation and your question. Yes. So and then once so I would say once I had a chat with him, like to be honest, it kind of opened my eyes, and I kind of got to know about a lot of things that obviously if you're doing a research by yourself, you can't. And with Amitava, I would say he's, apart from the fact that he's extremely knowledgeable in this area, he's got a bit of a personal touch as well. So he always pushed me, like in terms of get my NATI done, get my PT done, get my assessment done. And I'm talking about COVID. So what I'm trying to say is like the dates to book these examinations and the availabilities were very, very limited. And I don't think anyone else would have pushed me like that to get all these things completed so that we can launch the initial invitation part. So that kind of helped me. And also for a fact that there are multiple subclasses uh, that you can apply as well. So to know the correct one is also like I would say that to also know which field that I should apply so that my chances are high is something I'm immensely grateful, because I see my friends as well, right, who've got invitation, and they're still waiting, or they're still waiting to get an invitation. I would say, like, it's because of him, like, and the way he guided me, I kind of completely surrendered to him. I would say, like, I completely surrender to the fact that, like, whatever he said is final, and I never questioned. And I know that he would never ever say anything um, like that's not appropriate, or even that's not correct. So that's kind of my personal experience. And yeah, and that's anyone who's looking to seek advice regarding their PR, regarding any other visa, please consult Amitava. At least I do. I always tell my friends or whoever I know, and if they ask me any question, one question, I would say, like, you know what, I can give you Amitava's number. Just have a chat, and he can clear you out.
Thank you for that. Thank you for those kind words. Now, you did mention that, or probably Amitava mentioned that you got your PR while you were on the training visa. And I want to
Yes.
touch upon that a little bit, because recently the government has announced some migration reforms. And one of the key changes is to prevent students from visa hopping, because a lot of students, to extend their stay while they're seeking job, they move on from one student visa to another. So the government is bringing in certain reforms to address that. And I was talking to Amitava last week, and we did speak about this, and you can find this information on our blog posts as well, where he thinks that for students who are keen to stay back, work, and make Australia their home, the training visa is now a viable option for them, So that also allows them enough time to gain experience while working and then subsequently apply for their PR. So tell me about your experience applying for that visa and what is it that you could do on the visa, what restrictions you had, and how easy was it to get onto the training visa?
Yeah. Look, it wasn't that easy, I would say, because at that point of time, I think, I mean, again, like big thanks to Amitava that he knew about this visa 407, and I engaged my employer, and I told them about this subclass, this condition, this visa, and even they were not aware of it. So even I think, if I'm not wrong, Amitava even helped them as well in terms of how they can facilitate an employee to get the training visa and stay on shore and work. So yeah, it wasn't easy. We were exploring a couple of options. We were talking constantly, and we were exploring a couple of options. And he suggested me that you can go and have a chat with your employer and see what they say. And then yes, obviously my employer got back to me, and they even didn't have a lot of I would say they were not a sponsor, I would say, at that point of time, or an active sponsor. So yeah, Amitava, I think, had a lot of back and forth conversation with the employers, and they helped me as well as them to facilitate to get that visa. So I would say, if anyone is seeking to get a training visa, I would say they should first speak to their employer and see, like, whether the employee is a nominated like a nominated sponsor. So and then and if they are, yes, then absolutely, then please engage whoever's your migration agent is with them, and to see how to get that sorted or get that done, because it's not a straightforward thing. Couple of steps, couple of layers are involved in it, and you have to make sure that you tick all the right boxes to securing that visa. And I do know that there is a change in rule, because a lot of people come to me with that as well. And again, I would say, I always tell them, please have a chat with Amitava.
Amitava, how long is this training visa valid for?
It can be valid for up to 2 years. Sagnik had it for 2 years.
Now, you are from Calcutta. You grew up there. If you were to compare your life back home in Calcutta and your life now in Sydney,
Yeah.
what would you say are some of the pros and cons about living here?
Ooh, okay. That is a tough question. Um, Pros and cons. Okay. Okay. Pros is obviously you living um, in Australia, which can offer you better quality of life. And in my case, I would say, like, it also presented me with a lot of opportunities, not only I would say work-wise, but all the other things as well. It has made me a lot independent. I wasn't that independent when I was in Calcutta. My like parents took care of literally everything from childhood, so I never had to worry about uh, how to even open a bank account. That as basic as that. And yes, I mean, my life back home was, I would say, pretty awesome, I would say. I mean, if that's the correct term, because I was a yeah, I was a kid who pretty much, thanks to my parents again, they provided me with literally everything, and so I never had any complaints, and I had friends, I had everyone around, family around, but it was a personal desire of mine to switch to Australia, and I wanted that exposure. I wanted to be independent and freedom. And Yep. So pros is, yes, like, you're living in a country where the lifestyle and everything else is much better, much processed, much faster. Cons, you miss your family constantly. That's the only cons, I would say.
Fair enough. I miss my family too. Now, what should international students, in your opinion, who are seeking or who are keen to have an overseas degree know about Australia before they make the move?
Yes, couple of things. I think if anyone is trying or seeking to move to Australia, they need to know, like if they're a student, I would say they need to first know that their purpose of coming here, because you just don't come here. You're coming here and you're enrolling yourself in a course in a university which it is costly, it is pricey. If you look at the dollar conversion to Indian rate, it is very expensive. So please make sure that that you know what you're doing, and get your head straight about what you actually want to do, and in terms of what you're trying to achieve from that degree, what you're trying to achieve from yourself, and have a vision, like just not only go overseas and just, like, have that freedom, have that independent, go out with your friends. No, no, no. I didn't do that. And I completely had a goal. I knew what I was doing. I knew why I was studying, what I was studying. And yeah, please make sure you cross-check everything. Also, it's very good that if you know about the rules and the regulation of the country in advance, that gives you an added advantage. I myself didn't go into all those things, but I had this clear vision as to what I want to achieve from this degree, and how I see myself in there, like in the coming years as well. So I had this vision, and I worked immensely and very hard towards it.
That's good to know. And I'm glad that you're doing so well, and wish you all the success in your future endeavors. And thank you for joining us. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Arun.
Thank you for talking to us. Amitava, any words from your end?
Thank you for your time, Sagnik. Now you have to settle down, get married, have children,
Oh, you're talking like my mother.
contact DMS to get your wife from Kolkata, unless you already have one here.
No, no, no. I'm single. But that's the plan. That's the plan for the future. But yeah, you know that I'll always contact you. Not only for visa matters. It's just that you're a busy person. It's very hard to get hold of you.
Come on. Have you ever called me to find out if I was busy?
Sorry, I might have got busy, but you're always traveling.
Well, I'm still always available to everyone.
Yeah, the treat is pending, so let me know when you're free.
Yes, I'm free tonight, but he's not free.
Thank you for your time, and we'll connect soon again. Okay?
Thank you guys. Thank you,
Wish
Amitava.
you well.
Again, thanks.
Bye.